got kind of like a big question.
Oh,
that,
good.
Like, you know how I come up with questions?
Yeah, you could say that I might
Might know.
understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a different cat. Chain link fences or wooden fences?
That's a silly question, especially because you know me.
So you like the
That's
I know you can put together a chain link fence.
yeah, chain link. What's the basis on this question? Where does this come
I
from?
don't know.
I need a
Just
little bit of context. Or is it just a
preference.
random Ryan
It's random me. It's more preference.
chain link then all the way?
Chain link.
It's
Good
not as
call.
to me. It's not even close. I mean, one looks better than the other,
It's true.
but
I
it
mean,
doesn't look better. But it doesn't look better forever.
wood is so just elegant, though. I feel this is gonna be a great episode. Welcome to. You know what I just realized?
What happened? Why you put the old music in there? What's up with that?
I just hit the old intro. Wow.
Why do we even have that still?
I'm gonna have to delete that, I think. I mean, we could play the new one again. This is the PP1 podcast, in case maybe some of you just forgot that we have a new, better intro. I don't know. That's on me. That's on me. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the PP1 podcast. As I've said briefly ago, we're part of the Dean Blundell Network. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Spotify. Heck, we're live on the Dean Blundell Network right now on our YouTube, PP1 Podcast, not the PP1 Podcast, PP1 Podcast. We had a little thing happen there. So, also our YouTube, check it out. You can comment on our Facebook and our YouTube. Technology. We got rid of MySpace. I just felt that we were not getting the love that we needed there, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I mean, you're not going to do it.
I'm a little confused why we still use our regular lines of communication for ICQ. That's bothering me somewhat. So if we're gonna drop MySpace, might be time to drop Yo.
Can we still do Messenger though?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. That's awesome. Hey, how you doing? It's been a minute.
In less than 24 hours, I feel
It's
like.
been less than 24 hours. We delayed our show at night so we could go play some hockey out at the outdoor box. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, my butt has some muscles I forgot existed, and they are sore.
My butt has some welts on it.
Funny story. I caused one of those. Funny story. I was pretty sure I had hit the goaltender, but you were walking away as I was walking away, wincing. And I hit you pretty much square on the thigh.
Folks, Ryan just shot the puck at me.
I literally shot the puck. I'm like, you know what? He doesn't show up on time most of these shows, so this is the one chance that I'm going to get to exact some revenge, and it felt oh so good. I mean,
quite frankly, I was surprised. I didn't realize you could shoot that hard. It's been a while since we've seen you play hockey. And you've improved. You've improved.
It might be dad strength. I don't know the last time that I took a slap shot. So, A, I'm sorry, and B,
Hey,
I'm impressed. I know.
your slappers were significantly better than mine,
and mine were more on target as well.
Yours were in the rink.
Yours went down the street, and I'm pretty sure hit Okanagan Lake. That's how far they rolled down the street.
Yeah, I hit it true. Yeah.
So yeah, he caused massive delays in the game. But you know what? I'm not going to hold you to that. That's how she goes. That's how she goes. I mean, the Canucks have been causing us some delays, obviously, too. Were they going to be in the playoffs? Truth. Were they not going to be in the playoffs? Like, hey, let's win an exciting game in Dallas, and then let's lose two stinkers against the St. Louis Blues.
It's the same old thing all year. It's ridiculous. It pisses me off, but it pisses me off because we're right on this one. We don't want to be right on this, but
no, it's frustrating though, because they're still on that brink. Like, we might tease you. We might tease you for a couple more games. Hey, maybe we'll beat Vegas. Maybe we'll beat who do they got on Sunday? I think it is Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it's just frustrating. It is. Because I'm now at the point, like, we're playing hockey last night. I'm like, oh yeah, the game's still on. I guess I should put it on. And they're in it. And then they get within one, and then nothing. So
it's Vegas Wednesday and Vegas Sunday too. So there's going to be some tough games. Yeah. So what was the deal? A couple of games back, you had to win. You can only afford 2 losses over your next 13 games, right?
yeah. And they've basically done that.
Yeah. So one more loss and it feels like they're officially out. They're not like mathematically eliminated yet, but I mean, really could have used like what, 3 or 4 more wins in the first quarter of the season. There would have made all the difference.
But like right now, I was thinking about this last night on the drive home from our epic hockey series. Have the Canucks even moved the needle for you in the last 2 weeks? Like, I'm not talking like they're just not. You know what I mean? Like, there's no high or low. It's almost like if we were cheering for the Senators right now.
Yeah, what are they? They're 3-5-2 in their last 10 or something like that. Like, no. And I think that the move the needle thing is the fact that they've won some exciting games against some, good teams, and then they've lost to shit teams. Like, it's not a playoff team. You can't do that and then expect to make the playoffs. Like, we've talked about this before. When you beat a team that you're not supposed to beat, that's your chance to gain some ground.
Right.
But then when you lose to a team that you're supposed to not like, now it's a net zero. And when you start this far in the hole after Boudreaux takes over, you can't just plod along with some net zeros, right? You got to be gaining big ground. You gain ground from beating teams you're not supposed to beat. Yeah. And you certainly don't prove that you're a playoff team by losing badly to teams that you're not supposed to.
And you've still got, the star players are still playing fairly well, like the star players, like Demko against Dallas, like that toe save.
Yeah. That was ridiculous. Yeah.
All kinds of nasty, right?
Glassy says it. Glassy says it too. He just chimed into the chat. It was too many losses early on. Yeah.
It was. And now as you were saying just before, like those couple losses that you've sprinkled in after having a mini little run where, okay, well, you pull off the big win against Colorado, right? You get
and look good doing it too, really.
Oh yeah. And then they have that epic win against Dallas. Like, it was an absolute nail biter. It was like, I was at the Rockets game on Saturday and we were watching the Canucks game, obviously, because it was early. And after the first period of the Rockets game, I turned to my dad. I said, I'm still feeling it from the end of that game. I said, like, my heart was just like going. And I just thought, like, that's what playoffs feel like. And they like a microcosm of the playoffs in one game. And yet everything else is like proving they're not good enough. So they play one game where they look gassed too. And somehow they eked out a win. And now they're just playing games where, like, they're going through the motions. Pettersson's actually had a great couple weeks. He looks like he's.
This past game was really good. He looks like he's himself. Other than that giveaway was really bad, but
wow, things happen, right?
But you take those with all the good that he does too, and he's back to doing good things really consistently, right?
Sure, and he's not the super dynamic Pettersson that we're all kind of expecting to bounce back. At the same time, he's definitely making a difference on the ice, as is Thatcher Demko. He had, goaltending hasn't been prime the last couple of games. Unfortunately, the rest of the team isn't helping that. So
he's looked like, I think from his standards, he's looked a little bit leaky, but I have to put that with an asterisk, like his standards, right? Because he's still very good. I think we're still getting above average goaltending. We're just not getting Demko level goaltending. Yeah. Which is somewhat unfair to him. And I think he's just masked so many of the underlying issues with this team that he's just the great equalizer, really, right? He can steal a game versus teams that you're not supposed to steal against. And then when the team does a dud and gets outscored 2-1, what else can you ask Demko to do in that situation? So he's stolen his fair share of games this year, I would say.
I mean,
I could probably go back through them and probably count at least 10 on my hands, like for games that Thatcher's stolen, and
yeah,
that's more than you can ask for. So he looks tired, and you know what? If we're being honest, this team just looks like a little bit worn out. It's been a long, drawn out drag. This team has been playing desperation hockey since basically the
Bruce got
day, basically the day Bruce got here, and
yeah,
that's a long time. Like
yeah,
you, and I'm obviously I'm ranting a little bit here, but you look at these teams like Colorado sometimes are a good example of this. Teams like Tampa are a good example of this, where those old Colorado teams with the Sakic's and the Forsberg, oftentimes they would coast into the playoffs after
yeah,
being a truly dominant team. And then Tampa Bay, you can look at the last few years too. They would walk into the playoffs with solid records over the last quarter of the season, and
right,
then really turn it on, right? Like know when to turn it on because they know how to turn it on. They've done that before. And then oftentimes, I think you can go back through playoff history a lot. I mean, not saying all the time, but a lot,
a
and
lot of the time.
see these teams that have had to be just on absolute fire just to get into the playoffs
Yeah,
and go on some runs and stuff like that. But it's like, how long
but
can
you have
you
to have a
turn that
team,
on for?
but you have to have a team capable of doing that. Like the
Right.
LA Kings, for example, like they were kind of the biggest,
Yeah.
not secret. What's the word I'm looking for? They were basically the one team like no one was paying attention to.
Right. Yeah.
As soon as they got in, they went on an absolute heater, one of the greatest playoff teams of all time, clearly.
Yeah.
And then you look at St. Louis again they were probably a lot better than their team was showing. And again, they go on their heater and basically have, I mean, a
And
miraculous run.
those are like two really good exceptions, right? But oftentimes you see teams just burn out and fatigue after having to be on a run for that long. And
Yeah.
I think we're seeing that with Vancouver right now, where
Yeah.
they've been on a good run, not a great
Mhm.
run, but a good run
Yeah.
for months now. And I think it's just starting to catch up to them. Like,
Yeah. Glassy's got another one here. Thanks for stopping by, Glassy. Appreciate it.
yeah,
Demko
definitely.
destroyed his stick. I saw that tweet today. Destroyed his stick at practice today, obviously in frustration. What's your thoughts on DiPietro next year? Time to go with him and Demmer. I mean, I think the Canucks have kind of shown that, and now this is my opinion, but that Spencer Martin's probably the next man up, that DiPietro probably needs a little bit more grooming, and maybe they alternate both of those guys next season. You're not going to see, I mean, you're not going to be seeing either of those realistically down the stretch. I think they're going to just get Halak, whatever the balance of the games are. Maybe you see one game if it matters, but I think like Abby's looking really good. So I can't imagine that you're going to see DiPietro as the number two guy. Maybe he just absolutely stands on his head in training camp and preseason. Maybe, but at the same time, I don't know. Based on what we've seen, it sounds everything. I mean, listening to like podcasts like Canucks Conversation, obviously Faber's quite in the know, and there's other guys that have kind of been following. I don't know. I mean, Spencer Martin proved that he can basically come in, cost nothing, a veteran already, I guess, AHLer, and you don't have to worry about him. Like you could put him in for a handful of games and feel totally confident. And I mean, he played well in front of a team at the time that needed him to play well. So whereas Halak, I mean, this is an off year clearly. Like I still like the Halak signing. It just sucks that this season has happened because he is better than he's shown, and he had that one big Colorado game obviously was
Mhm.
the big one, and it's
Oh, you look in that game.
yeah, like he was phenomenal. He gets the belt and everything that goes with that. But I mean, it sucks because as a whole, it hasn't been a great season, and that happens. Like that happens to the best of them,
Yeah.
right? I mean, the absolute best players in the league have bad years. I'm not saying
I
this in the league, but
I would agree. I would agree with the Spencer Martin comment. I think that they've already kind of discussed the fact that it's very possible that Spencer Martin backs up heading into next year, or at least a very very cheap entry level contract goalie. Right. I think
yeah,
that the team has been very open and upfront about the fact that they need to shed salary, so that sort of has to happen. And I think Martin has made enough sense to say that he's sort of. I wouldn't even say that he's leapfrogged DiPietro. I just think that he's a veteran pro goalie at this time, right? So he's proven that he's been able to carry NHL starts. I think you're not going to ask too much of him. If you could see him get 10 to 15, then that would be great. The this is not a slight or shade to Mikey DiPietro at all. I think he's a phenomenal goalie. I think he's got a ton of a potential. I mean, but you look at the guy right now, and he's only 22 years old. And I think after that first season, he played 36 games and he looked really solid. He carried a 22 and 11 record, and he was looking like your everyday AHL goaltender. In fact, he stole that spot away from a veteran that they had brought in earlier.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
I think had the second year is what really hurt his development. Only getting 4 games in Utica, that was pretty terrible. Benning and Co did an absolute wretched job managing his starts and how that he was supposed to be development. Basically blew an entire year for him.
Yeah.
Only to play this year. Yeah.
Sure.
Again, he hasn't taken the lion's share of starts this year. He's only got 26 starts. He's a little bit below 500. I think the guy just needs games. He needs to go down to AHL and he needs to get his game back, because it's obviously that the guy's got a ridiculous amount of talent. Yeah. And I'd love to see 40 plus starts out of Thatcher Demko and Mikey DiPietro next year to just push his way back into the conversation. And I don't think it's too much to ask. We didn't see Demko sort of push and force his way up as an NHLer full-time until he was like 24, 25 years old, if I'm correct, having his agent post and force a trade
to work with too, right?
Yeah. So that's a lot of practice time, and that's good too. But it's just a little bit early. And quite frankly, we just don't really need him to be here right now if we can have a solid guy sort of carry the ranks for him in the meantime until he's ready. And I don't want to rush a really good quality prospect in DiPietro ahead of that. So to answer your question, Glassy, yeah, I would prefer not to see him there next year, selfishly, because I want to see him develop a little bit more.
Quick little teaser break. I'm watching billiards in the background because I'm on the downstairs TV. It's amazing. 9-ball looks like. Great times. But that's not why I'm interrupting here. We did forget to ask a question last week. Our good friend Jenna Fabulous, she's on Canucks Speakeasy this week, so hopefully they're not recording as we speak, because that would be weird. Does it bother you that Ryan and I are real life friends, and you and I, speaking you and her, are not?
You as in me?
That you and Jenna are not real life friends, and I am with her.
I feel like we are real life friends. I didn't realize that Jenna didn't think we were real life friends. So I've obviously got some work to do in that department. Yeah. Sorry, Jenna. I've disappointed you often in the past. So I'm going to continue to do that. And one day I feel like I'm going to try to make it up to you.
I think I just have the benefit of actually meeting her in person and sharing a Canucks game with my child for an evening, which was great. She's awesome. Super friend. Just super. So that was little.
Yeah, then I could if I could beat her, and then I could get my balls busted in real life. It'd be great. I can't wait.
You know what? It comes full circle, right? It comes full circle. So, I mean, the Canucks have, we've talked about this, ad nauseum. I was kind of bringing up, there's only so much to talk about the Canucks. Are we in agreement, and not necessarily that we're in agreement it should happen, but are we in agreement that JT Miller is likely signing with the Canucks? Not that it should, but that it's probably going to happen.
Well, I think I'm going to just get crucified for this. But yeah, so I agree that you're right, that he is going to sign with Vancouver. I'm worried though.
Sure.
I'm terrified. I'm terrified of getting saddled with
another contract.
A $9 million. Where are we getting this? OEL's got to go then. Somebody's got to go. How many, 7+ players can you afford to carry on a roster? Guys got to re-up. I mean, I love JT Miller's game. Yeah. I don't know how much I'm going to love JT Miller's game in year 4 of a 7-year deal. That concerns me. I think it should concern a lot of people. I don't know how many people are turning a blind eye to that. This is not going to be a popular opinion, I don't think. But I don't want to see them get locked into a really bad contract for a long period of time on an aging veteran, right? I mean, it's fine right now, and I'm sure it'll be fine for the first 3-4 years. And that might be all this team needs. But at some point, that's a lot of money. And I honestly don't know where they're going to get it from. That's the other portion to this too, right?
Where's the back end? You might be able to afford the first 6 or the first 7.
Yeah, and he's not signing for 6 or 7, right?
No. No, but
Like,
I'm saying for your dollar value, you might, as a team, you may be able to afford to pay him the $6 million, maybe even seven, if you deem that necessary. But then if you're, if you look at kind of what the rumors have been out there, like if it's an 8 or 9, I mean, he's playing top 10 points in the league right now. Like if you're
mhm.
taking the facts, the hard,
Phenomenal player too, right? I mean,
he's having a year that, this is why guys get paid. So you're paying for something that's already happened, not what's going to happen in the future. Like if we're comparing it, you look at, I mean, you compare Toronto. It's a weird comparison, but they have three, $10+ million players. Now that looked ridiculous. What, a year or two ago? I mean, it's
mhm.
still crazy, but they're in a very different situation where all those guys, aside from John Tavares, you've got guys that are going into their prime or just have hit the prime of their careers, whereas JT Miller is at the pinnacle and he might stay there for one more year and then he starts teetering down. So it's great you get those 2 years, but anything surrounding that this year is great,
Mhm.
where we could have got value, and maybe they do trade him. Maybe this is all just a big ruse, and
Maybe it's a big ruse, yeah.
maybe there's this massive trade that happens and they do get an absolute haul like you're seeing in the NFL right now. Unlikely, but it is possible. But all signs seem to point that things are slightly different, but they're still very much the same.
Yeah, like I I think like possibly a good comparison to put this through, and I could be off my rocker, but it's just the first guy that comes to mind is Jamie Benn.
Hmm.
You and I are both, Jamie Benn fans. I love his game, but he's regressing a bit, right? He's 32 years old now. He signed that big deal in 2017, 2018, so he was sort of coming off the heels of those two huge seasons
Yeah, Art Ross.
in 15, 16, where he put up 87 and 89 points back to back. Signs his big deal that first year, 69 points. That's great. We're happy with that. In this case, that would be a 30-year-old,
Yeah,
a 30-year-old JT Miller. Season after that, it's a back to an uptick, 79 points. That's 31-year-old JT Miller, right? Now you're looking at like 2018, 2019, 53 points. 2019, 2020, obviously it's an abbreviated season, 39 points. 2020,
we'll call that.
2021, 52
Yeah.
games, only puts up 35 points. 65 games in, he's got 38 points. That's a $9.5 million player on an 8-year contract.
Putting
You
up
know,
average 60 points.
not even below that, right? I mean, and now we're seeing Ben is going to play 3 more years, sorry, at $9.5 million. Is it 9.5? Yeah, $9.5 million cap hit. What is Dallas going to do with that? I mean, I'm happy he's in Dallas because now that's their problem, obviously, right? Like, what do the Canucks do when they're in that situation and they're at the point where Jamie Benn's at right now in his contract status? He's only offering you 45 to 50 points a season. Is everybody okay with that? I
The
don't
problem
know. I
is
have a bit of an issue with it.
we have that problem right now, but
Yes.
not on the front end. We have that exact problem. In fact, we got rid of 3 guys that were occupying that problem, and now we have like 2 guys that are occupying that problem. We're still looking at LTIR for Michael Furland. Like there's that. We continue to forget about that. Now Tucker Poolman's coming back, it looks like. Like they've got all these weird little storylines. And again, previous regime, it's still there.
Mhm.
These are still actual problems. It's not like they magically disappeared and you can say, "Oh, well the last, management group did it." Yeah, they did, but they're not gone. So unless you can part ways, I mean Travis Hamonic, that was a nice little bit of business there. That's one player. That wasn't even the biggest glaring error. That was more of an eyesore optically, not everywhere else. Like he was kind of doing okay, but there's all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So you still got an OEL, which again, he's
What
decent.
what's the cap hit for OEL for Vancouver? Do you remember? Is it like 7.5 moving forward or something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Right? Because he was 8.25
Yeah.
in in Arizona. But
Yeah.
now like OEL's signed through to 26, 27, right? He's 31 now, 30 now. So 31, 32, 33, 34, 35-year-old OEL is going to be giving you a cap hit of $7.5 million and he's offering you 20 points.
They need to maximize this LTIR thing everybody keeps talking about.
I mean, that's like,
Just like
Fuck.
axe him in the leg or something. Like go Nancy Kerrigan on or Tanya Harding on him, and just LTIR him and trade him to whoever. I don't care,
Yeah.
because apparently that's the easy loophole. And
Yeah. Well, not for Vancouver though.
no, not for Vancouver. It's actually a hindrance in Vancouver. Somehow
So
we're actually penalized for that.
yeah. So I think they will resign. I think they are going to make a hard push to resign him. But when you got to make a hard push and the player has all the leverage, like
Right.
you're going max, man, max.
Well, you have to. It's his contract to win here.
And so does Vancouver go for that? Does Vancouver re-up on that? Do they do it?
I think they, in their minds, they have to, because
that's a terrifying thought.
I know, but that's I was listening to the Ball Hawks podcast, good friends Steve and Chris, and they were talking about like a DK Metcalf and how you've got like this. I mean, I've said this multiple times, maybe even on this podcast. The dude is an absolute specimen of an athlete. Like
It's an understatement.
he was given a gift that a handful of people on this planet have been given, and he gets to make a piss load of money doing it. Now, because you look at the Seattle Seahawks and they're kind of retooling, rebuilding, whatever, what could you get for a guy like DK Metcalf? Now, I know they're in different parts of their career. At the same time, a guy like Russell Wilson, not the greatest quarterback in the league. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
He's top tier, yeah.
Yeah. So JT Miller, not the best player in the league. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
And considering you've seen everything else that's been going in this market, in the marketplace for trades and what have you, like there is a king's ransom to be hauled in, and a really good GM. I mean, I love the Vancouver Canucks. If you can go and you can get either two prospects or one prospect and just an absolute bucket of draft picks, JT Miller is a phenomenal player right now. Right now.
And I agree with you. And I think the reason I hate this so much is the fact that I don't feel like they should do this because they have OEL under contract. And you can't move the OEL. Well, maybe you can. Maybe there's a really creative way to do it, but I don't know what that way is. And moving the OEL contract seems nearly impossible. And because that's sitting on the books, how do you make room for JT Miller? And that sucks.
We shouldn't be in this problem, but here we are. So I guess the other ones, Brock Besser, you got Brock Besser, Connor Garland, Tanner Pearson. How many of these guys, based on what we've been talking about, how many of these guys are not Canucks next season? Of those three?
Yeah,
those three, like if they're going to go and they're going to sign
Besser, Garland, and who else did you say?
And Tanner Pearson. Like, can you move those guys?
Yeah, well, you can move Garland for sure. Garland has trade value. 100% Besser has trade value. Like, maybe not as much as you'd like due to contract expiration situation. But more than Garland for sure.
Yeah.
And then Pearson is what? I mean, I guess you could
whole third. He's your high end Tyler Mott.
Yeah, I mean, you could move a Tanner Pearson, but like
you get a third.
He's a funny. Yeah, what do you get for a Tanner Pearson?
You get a third.
Is it better for you having a third rounder, or is it better for you having another year of Tanner Pearson on it? I guess that's what management has to figure out.
Take a third rounder. You've got someone that can take a spot. There has to be.
Yeah, if it were me, and I
boom.
I didn't have relationships with these players, and human beings didn't have feelings and blah blah blah, and I wasn't concerned about losing my job if the team sucked, all that stuff. Then yeah, I would probably move like all three of those guys, and I would work toward getting myself another high end defender, because that's what this team needs, right? I mean, this team needs defenders. This team needs quality forwards, and those guys are quality forwards. But there's been so much talk about whether or not Garland is like, whether Garland is this organization or this regime's type of player.
Here's the thing, though. This is the beauty of it. He came in the OEL deal, and he was probably the sexier portion of that.
He was the best player in the deal, for sure.
But here's the thing. Because it was part of that deal, yes, we've had a season for him, but it's not like we're saddled to him.
No,
Yes,
not at all.
yes, Benning signed him for sure, but you're not saddled to him. You can make something on that deal, and does it suck? Is there a business side to it? Yes, there is. Here's the thing, though. He's a guy you can move. Now that's money that you can move out. You may not move all of it. You may
Bang
not
on.
move 100% of it, but if you can get a draft pick or a prospect in return, you're shedding salary. And we're not trying to addition by subtraction, but it's a little bit of that. It's a little bit. And now you can start bringing in guys that are, whether they're on the farm making their case. We're not going to get Aiden McDonough till next season.
And
But
who
maybe,
knows about Aiden McDonough? Like, let's be real on that.
but I mean, I'm just as an example. There are going to be guys or a college free agent or something. There are going to be players that the Canucks will have access to this offseason that they don't have access to right now. And I think it's worth knowing that you can have access to them based on moves. So
they're going to be an attractive team to consider signing with when they start going the college free agent route, because there's going to be lots of spots for people to play in.
For sure. We're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna do another live ad read, because we have one in the can that we can throw in there. But you know what? They give us love. We're gonna give them love. Our good friends at Move Health and Wellness they're now in Kelowna. We've told you guys. We've told you a few times. We had Dr. John last week. Dude's an absolute beauty. And basically, here's the thing. They're going to get you better. They are going to get you healthy. They've got a chiropractor. That's John. That's our buddy John. They've got, how do I say this? They've got basically someone who will pretty much break you but put you back together. In Kaylee, their RMT. They have. Did I not see that they've got acupuncture now? Was that correct?
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure.
I can't remember. There was something new that they added. They've also got counseling as well. So not just physical wellness, but obviously mental wellness as well. My wife actually just had her postponed massage, so she had to postpone it, and so she was in today. There's also a secret there that I'm not allowed to tell on air, because apparently there is another service that they offer that certain Michael Phelps may have had done in his swimming career. We can talk about it. Kevin Costner and Rene Russo were in a movie called Tin.
Oh,
But I'm not going to say it. You didn't hear it here. I may get in a lot of trouble for this, so hopefully I didn't say too much.
I have no idea what you're talking about or where you got this information from. Ryan may be lying, people. I don't know.
I could be lying. But they are inside in Kelowna. They're inside the Walmart in the Jack Nathan Medical Center. Super nice and clean in there. Very, very kept, very calm. You don't feel like you're, around a ton of people and stuff, because it's at Walmart. There's tons of parking. If you've ever been to a chiropractor or massage therapy or physiotherapy, parking, this is one of those things. I don't care what city you live in, parking is a nightmare. And this is the one place you can park wherever you want. No charging. You don't got to put $2 or $6 in the meter. You just go and park like you're going grocery shopping. And maybe you do go grocery shopping afterneath, because you're in the Walmart. They also have 2 locations in the Lower Mainland in Surrey there, where they have a few more services to provide. As I said, like acupuncture, physiotherapy, amongst obviously chiropractor and RMTs. They've become a good friend to us. They become a very good friend to us. And I mean, as I said, this was such a great partnership, because I'm happy to finally have a place where I can actually book massage therapy, because it is a nightmare in Kelowna to find a place to make that happen. I actually have to book one probably within the next 2 weeks. So highly recommend it. I'm going to go see Kaylee again. Hopefully I don't have to bust out the safe word, which is pizza. She'll be okay. She knows. And just get back to health. We played hockey last night, and I feel like there's probably a few muscles that probably need to get back to normal. Also because ball season is starting, and I don't want to tear anything, because, well, that's a problem. As you know, you're doing all your CrossFit, right? So you're doing heavy lifting, you're doing a lot of cardio, a lot of running, a lot of lifting. So you
The
want to make
point is,
sure
people, you just get beat up over time, and
you
like
do.
you need to take care of your body, right? I mean, some of us do better jobs than others at taking care of themselves. I don't take the best care of myself, and I think that I'm making like a concentrated effort as I get a little bit older to make sure I'm taking the right amount of maintenance. And Move Health and Wellness does a good job at making sure I can do that.
You know what's awesome? My game last night. I basically went cold turkey into that hockey game, and I'm here tonight. I'm not I'm not resting in bed because every muscle in my body hurts. I made it happen. So, and I had a couple nice little goals in there. A nice little tip. Our good friend James, who invited us out, he has what some would call a slap shot for the ages. It's his
Just
secret weapon. Anytime you're playing against this guy, it's like a seeing eye kind of shot. Like everything just kind of finds the back of the net. Everybody gets out of the way. They part like the Red Sea, and he just gets to take a slap shot. I had one, and I was standing beside the net thinking, "Oh, I'll tip this one for sure." I watched this ball go straight at me, and then it was like a hard curve top shelf. It's disgusting, and yet it's a beautiful thing to watch when you're on his team. So, it's hockey. Like we said, Move Health and Wellness. Go check them out. They're a proud sponsor of our show, Dudes and Guys. Ted, serious question now. Serious question because
mhm.
we're a serious podcast. It's basically spring. What spring things have you done so far? Like, have you, whether it's chores or just gone and done something springy? Like, what have you done? I built a shed.
Oh, that's probably better than me.
I raked my lawn and I built a shed.
I'm gonna mow a lawn for the first time in like a couple of years. The old place we lived at had like a yard crew and stuff, so I haven't had to mow a lawn. But I'm gonna mow a lawn here pretty soon.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I've gone on some hikes, some
Okay,
spring hikes. That's
okay.
that's been pretty fun. I did some spring chores today.
Did you find any flowers on your hikes?
Uh,
No, I picked flowers.
Yeah, like some flowery, weedy looking things. Yeah,
Sure. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
like kids do.
yeah,
You know.
like that.
Yeah. I did score all the goals. Is that Jace? It is.
Who's that?
I think that's Jace in the chat. He said, "Scored all the goals." I bet there, Hank. I did actually. I scored.
I think you got like 5 goals. Did you not?
I, that was. I'm not gonna lie. I came home and I bragged to my wife. I said, "I think I could be good at hockey again." And I only told her that because if I
Again, did you say again?
for the first time. Oh, Jace. What did I say? Jace. Joel. I'm sorry. I know a Jace as well. So I
I
apologize.
was like, who's
I
Jace?
owe, I owe you. I owe you. Now I'm forever indebted. I'm sorry, Joel. I hope you forgive me. So you've done some spring things. I'm trying to deflect here. Trying to deflect. Trying to deflect. We did promise something, and I brought this up in Twitter. Canucks, it's been a little bit iffy, and we might be stretching in the next little bit here. So I decided for the back half of our episode, we'll throw in a dudes and guys if we've got time. But one of my favorite movies, I'm sure it has to be one of yours, Ocean's 11. I thought, what if we recasted Ocean's 11 but with Canucks? What do you think?
I think
You-
it's. I mean, yeah. I think it sounds ridiculous, but also very fun.
Very fun. Okay, so let's start first and foremost. The leader of the crew. Are you like Joel? You're ready. Glassy, you ready? Whoever else is out there. This is a big deal.
You're gonna go all the way to the top first. You're gonna start.
I think so. Like I'll start with the top because we need to set the precedent of what's going to happen here. So first and foremost, the man, George Clooney in the movie, but Danny Ocean. Who is the Canucks' Danny Ocean? Who do you got?
Oh, I gotta name him first.
Well, we'll talk about it. Like who would you pick?
Oh, okay. Danny Ocean. Danny Ocean has got Danny Ocean's JT Miller.
You know what?
Yeah,
I was
he carries enough clout
yeah.
to sort of be the arrogant, sort of cocky guy, but is like reserved enough where he doesn't have to be the front man 100% of the time.
Right.
Because you just know what he brings to the table. So I think if we're gonna do a Danny Ocean pick, then it's probably gonna have to be JT Miller for me.
Because like the default would be like it's a captain, right? Like you think, oh, it's the captain, right? But it's not because if you think about it,
Yeah, Joel's got my back on this. Yeah,
the actual captain on the Canucks isn't quite that kind of guy, right? Like
Mhm.
Danny Ocean's got a little bit of that swag. He gets a little bit upset, but he's cool. He's going to get the job done at the end, right?
Yeah.
He does have a plan. So
I would
JT
like to
Miller,
say I know that you put this list together, so I'm thinking
yeah,
you put some thought of it. I am going in completely cold on this one, so we'll
I
see
know.
how it goes.
I think we're going to have a few of the same picks. Okay,
Okay.
so
So
let's
you pick
go
the
with.
same? Yeah, you're JT Miller. You're in the same pick.
I've been thinking about that since yesterday. JT Miller was my guy. So Livingston, remember the really quiet, mousy guy, like it's kind of the techie kind of guy, right? Does all the cameras and stuff. He's very quiet and like that.
Livingston.
I'll allow for Google, but he's basically like he did all like the techie stuff, like all the switching the cameras and stuff. I think.
Right. Okay.
So like for me, I was thinking like very quiet, very but like methodical and like he knows what he's doing. He's gonna make it kind of he's gonna get the back end stuff done. I was thinking Quinn Hughes.
Oh, okay.
So
That's a surprise pick. Yeah.
I know he's not like the star of the show. I mean, obviously Quinn Hughes is basically the star of the show as far as the Canucks are concerned. But so you've got Petey there. So I don't know. I think I would go like back end because I gotta think for Petey. I would say Quinn Hughes. What do you think?
A guy who's just a little bit of a controller. I mean, I get the reference. He's not quite a senior guy. You know what? I'm gonna have to say that I'm gonna agree with you on that one. He's the one that's sort of running the show behind the scenes. And without Livingston, none of this goes on. I know it's a whole team thing, but all the sum of the
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah.
But he's sort of directing traffic back there, and that is kind of what Quinn does. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna double up on that. I'm gonna take Quinn Hughes too. That's a really smart pick.
Like it's weird, right? Because
Yeah.
like
I mean, I didn't like it at first, but
you're
yeah.
gonna rewatch the movie at some point. You're gonna think like, you know what? Like, no, definitely not a main character, and not a guy that's gonna get a lot of the spotlight. But I mean, he needs those technical things to go right, so that everyone else can do like the flashy things, right? Which is kind of unfair because Quinn Hughes is pretty flashy, but he quietly is flashy. Like he's not a he's not a boisterous kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got a few here. So there's Basher, who like does all the breaking stuff. I think that's like what, like Luke Shen.
Which one is Basher?
Basher.
Who plays Basher?
Oh man, you think I'd remember this part? Basher Oceans.
Is that like Scott Cans? Oh, that's Scott
No, no,
Cans.
no, 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 no. Oh, Basher's Don Cheadle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I like that. Okay. Basher for me is I'm gonna take Tanner Pearson on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, he works along the walls, he gets in the dirty areas, but he still has like the capabilities. The guys respect him. Obviously, you can tell that he's somewhat part of that leadership group, but like an underlying level of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got like just that particular set of skills. And it's the reason why JT Miller has hung around the league so long. So I'm going to take JT Miller in this one.
No, Pearson.
Sorry, Pearson. I'm going to take Pearson in this one. Tanner Pearson.
Tanner Pearson. Okay. Huh. You know what?
Only because I feel like I'm reserving a role for Luke Shen.
Okay. So I would almost say my pick for that would be Niels Hoglander.
Okay, yeah.
So again, he's contributing. He's going to do a little bit of the blowing up stuff because he does that. He'll blow you up in the corner, but he's also got some skills to make kind of the surrounding stuff happen. So I don't have as big of a sell, but I think Hoglander would be my basher. What do you think?
Okay.
I think those are both good. Let's go with the big man. Let's go with the money. Terry Benedict.
Benedict.
So he's the bad guy.
Benedict. I feel like this is fairly easy.
So this is
in that the Terry Benedict, then that's going to have to be Francesco. That's they're sort of working in and around him.
You got it.
At some point, he makes his way into the he figures things out and he makes his way into the crew. And I feel like that could be where Francesco's like sort of migrating to. And so yeah, it's got to be Aquilini. It's got to be the big Aquilini, not just like Aquilinis.
Oh, okay. This is like Papa Aquilini.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's stick with money here. The guy that funds the whole thing, Ruben Tishkoff. Good old Ruben.
Ruben.
So big glasses, big Coke bottle glasses. Who's walking in and funding this whole thing? So we've already talked about Aquilini. So is this like
it's Jim Rutherford? Obviously, it's got to be
Jimmy?
Jim Rutherford.
Okay.
Jimmy Rutherford. He's the one that's
Old man.
that's pulling the person. He's helping assemble the team. Like, I mean, he's got a role to play, but ultimately he's not the guy that's out on the ice doing the job. He's just putting things in place.
Interesting. I like that. I was gonna say I was trying to make a joke and rest in peace. I was going to say Mr. Braley because he has everybody over to his house for the BC Lions. He has everybody over his house. He's got a ton of cash, puts everybody together. But yeah, I like that. I think Rutherford. I was going to say maybe Bruce, but I think that's probably a better call for sure.
He's almost too much of a good time guy, Bruce. I don't know what role Bruce plays yet.
Would he be Saul?
Could be Saul.
He'd be the old guy.
Yeah,
so he's a bit of a character, but he can play it up and he can go in acting like he's a big deal. But at the end of the day, he's a pretty humble guy, like away from the ice, right?
Yeah,
like
could be Saul.
You know what? I'm gonna go watch WrestleMania this weekend, kind of guy. Like he wants to be part of the boys, but time's starting to catch up to him a little bit. He's got to take it a little bit easier, but he wants to be part of the big score. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Who else we got? Oh. This is a dude. This is a dude overall. He's been in a few crypto commercials, but we won't hold that against him. Linus, the pickpocket. Mm-hmm. Who's our pickpocket?
I am gonna give one Linus Caldwell. That role for me has to go to Petey. Yeah, he's somewhat understated. Doesn't always have a lot to say. One of the key players on this squad. And ultimately an heir apparent. So it's
I like how you're approaching this.
Yeah. So Linus for me is Petey.
I think he's got a pretty good, he's able to steal the puck. Okay. I'm just gonna go through and see if I would have an equal one in here.
I think Juho Lammikko is available.
I'm not going to lie. I was looking at Lammikko. Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, if we're going to talk about, you know what? If we're going to talk about stealing, how about the guy that steals games? Thatcher Demko. Off the radar in my head until now, I think Thatcher Demko is my Linus. So he's pretty slick. He's got a good pedigree to him. He can go in and he's going to absolutely rob you. There's the sell. There's the sell.
I like it.
I'm good at this. Okay. Who else we got? I think my screen just left for a second. The acrobat, Yen.
Oh, Yen.
So who's our acrobat?
Yen. I think, little Yen, backflip Yen. That's obviously Tyler Myers.
What?
No, it's not.
Not at all. Where I thought you were going to.
No, that's Connor Garland.
Okay.
Yeah, good. that's Connor Garland. Obviously, right? I mean, I wasn't going to take the guy who's 4'5" and say that it's say that it's.
I was legitimately shocked for a second.
6'7", 4'7". Yeah, same. No, that's Connor Garland. He's just all the spinoramas is just like dizzying, just like
the role was made for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
The role was absolutely. I like that. I don't even think that's debatable. Connor Garland, like that's stamped. That's rubber stamped. So Scott Cahn's character Turk. So he's kind of likes to play. Remember the monster trucks and everything. Like he's kind of like he's like Basher, but he's more of
he's basically Tweeter from Varsity Blues. They just kept the same character and
pretty much
they just.
So if we're gonna
go the new Tweeter end zone dance, what do you call it? New Tweeter end zone dance.
Yeah, I would say. I have an idea. Who are you thinking? I think we have the same guy.
I don't think we have the same guy
I
because you've
bet
already
we
picked the guy that I'm gonna pick. Like for me,
Yeah.
Turk is Nils Höglander.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
we did switch it up.
Yeah.
So I had Pod Colson.
Pods is probably the other guy on that dynamic duo for me.
But I think Höglander makes sense though. I think
So does Pods.
I think both of those guys are pretty good.
The young upstarts, right? They got they're somewhat flashy,
but
you need them. Yeah,
that's good.
Hogs and Pods.
There's a few guys on the Canucks that I feel like we're going to end up leaving out, which really sucks. But
yeah,
this one I don't know if we're going to get, but hopefully we do. So want me to shine your shoes? Want me to smile at you? Frank Catan or Catan. I can't remember how to say his last name. Want me to shine your shoes? Want me to smile at you? What a line. What a line. So who is our Frank? Who's the card dealer? Who's the dealer?
Who was Frank in real life? Oh, Frank
Bernie Mac.
Yeah, Frank Catan is Bernie Mac. Oh, rest in peace, Bernie Mac.
So I would almost say, did I agree with you on Pettersson?
I don't know.
I think
Pettersson was the pickpocket, so I had Pettersson as Matt Damon.
Right, and I had Demko. So I'm gonna go Pettersson for this one. He's got
you're going PD, okay.
And I'm gonna regret this because I should be having Pettersson as a different role. In fact, I should probably not double down on this before. So if you've got a guy, I think you need to figure it out.
Yeah. Oh man, this one's kind of funny. I'm gonna go back, and it's because we know a little bit more about this guy in his previous time spent in Vancouver, and we know that he's a character.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take good old bad Brad Richardson for this.
You know what? That's who it should be.
Yeah,
that's who it should be. That's fair.
He's the savvy vet with just he can turn it on like that,
and he's gonna pot 4 goals on you when you're not looking.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I take back the Pettersson because I think there's another role for him. So we got a couple left here. Where am I here? Virgil. So this is Casey Affleck. This is Turk's brother.
Mm-hmm.
So
Casey Affleck is Virgil is Pods for me. So that's the Pods and Hods connection. So that's Turk and Virgil right there. So that's Pod Colson.
I'm gonna go with Kyle Burrows.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Because I mean, he's doing some damage in there. When he's going,
might have led the team in hits.
Yeah, you're really happy that he's out there for you, but he can be kind of lower end, but he's still vital. Still, one of the pieces to complete this puzzle.
Yeah, so the Malloy brothers makes perfect sense, I think, too. So
yeah. I like that. That's good. Rusty. Who is Brad Pitt?
Oh, do we even really have to? It's obviously Brock.
Oh, yeah.
Brad Pitt is Brock Besser. Brock Besser is Brad Pitt. I mean, he's he's the guy. He's
on that one.
He could always be, eating an apple every time you see him. I got a mouthful of food.
Yeah.
But the ladies still swoon. That hair. I mean, he could just walk his way into any situation. You know that he's just going to talk his way out of it. And then when he does speak up, which isn't that all that often, people pay attention.
Brock Besser. That's good. I like
that. Who did you have?
Well, I was gonna say Pettersson.
PD. Okay. I mean, that works too.
Because he's got the style, right? He dresses like what did he say? Ted Nugent wants his suit back because PD has some awful taste sometimes. So he'll wear something. He wears a suit, right? So I don't know. I think both of those work. It's too bad you can't combine them somehow because like Brock, for the sex appeal,
like Brock Pettersson,
yeah, that'd be weird, eh? Pettersson with absolute flow. I could do that, or really tall, skinny Brock. I don't think that works. It'd be nice. It'd be nice if they combined powers. That'd be great. I think the Canucks would be better for it. I don't really have anybody else. I guess the only who is what's her name?
Who is Tess Ocean?
Who's Tess? Now, who basically is the apple of our eye. The one at the end of the day, this is all for him. This would be.
This could have been Quinn, but it's
Could have
not.
been.
Yeah. Did you have a pick?
Huh. I don't have a pick because I wasn't sure if I was going to include it. Now I thought I'm like, this wouldn't be complete if I didn't.
No, you got to have Tess in there for sure. It's Patrick Elvine for me.
Patrick Elvine.
Yeah.
This is all for him.
This is all for him.
Huh. I'm going to go. Oh man. You know what? This is the hardest one. Bo is the man. Too bad we don't get to keep him long term. I can't have Bo Horvat for. He's not who we're doing. Oh, Brock, yeah. I want to go someone that's passed, like someone in memoriam kind of thing.
What? What? Yeah. Okay.
You're playing. I don't know. No,
I mean, it could for me. It could easily be Thatcher Demko as well, right? I mean, he's the apple of everyone's eye right now.
Playing for Thatcher Demko.
So maybe I'll flip it to Demko for Tess Ocean.
Oh man, this is a tough one. You said Patrick Elvine, hey? Frick. I guess. I guess we have to both agree on Brock Besser. So I guess Pettersson. Like we need to play to keep him.
Yeah, that works too.
I mean, they either put up or shut up, and then he's gone. So for closure, even though this may not be the best answer,
and we had Ruben. We picked Ruben, right?
We did pick Ruben.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Ruben was Jimmy Rutherford. Right. Yeah, I don't think we're missing anybody. I mean, you could do the bouncers, but that they weren't. He didn't need them. Those are Terry's guys. Those are Terry's guys. I think we did this.
I think you're right.
I think
I didn't find a spot for Bo in Ocean's 11.
Okay, so if you recast then one person, is there a spot that you could switch? Would you switch Bo for any of those? I don't see one.
Maybe
the only one would be Danny Ocean.
Maybe Basher. I could move Basher out from Pearson's spot and insert Horvat. That'd probably be my only switch.
I think if I had to, I would switch then Danny Ocean. Because I think when Bo's going, like he's got the fist pump, he's got, he's making sure things are getting set up. Excuse me.
And we had Terry Benedict like Andy Garcia, right? So
yeah, great character. I almost need to watch this before my night's done.
Well, it's a great movie. It's one of the all-time heist movies for sure.
I've got the DVD right there. Could it be on Netflix? Entirely possible. Yeah, but I've got the hard copy. That was good. Yeah. I think we made things happen.
We're gonna have to make some more movie lists. I think.
I think we could do this. It is interchangeable. I think people enjoy this. This is what people tune in for. That this is what we do. So the Canucks don't play till Sunday.
Sunday,
Monster Truck Sunday. There's really not much going on, so I think we're gonna get to enjoy. You're going, sounds like, to the coast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gonna go head down to Vancouver, visit some friends. Gonna be a little Fijian family reunion of sorts.
You guys get together. Like, I've seen the pictures. You got a pretty.
Yeah, awesome. And I haven't even been to the big get-togethers. So
okay.
all the, like, a bunch of the fam's going to be there. So we'll see some of my brothers and sisters, some aunts and uncles, and some cousins. It's going to be a great time. I'm actually really super impromptu. We just planned it yesterday.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, come down. You can stay with us. We'll have a feast, and that's just the way they do it. And I love those guys.
Man, we don't do. I mean, we just randomly have stuff, I guess. So. Just watched Ocean's 12 last night, and yes, 11, I believe, is. Yeah, it's that series. I mean, yeah, it can be a little hokey, but
they're fun, right? That's what the whole point of it is.
Like Ocean's 11, especially that first one, like you leave and you're like, oh man, And the thing is, then you start playing through all the things because you watch it like 5 or 6 times. Like, oh yeah, I forgot that this happens, and I forgot that this happens. And 12 was pretty good. In fact, like honestly,
you're like, oh yeah, I totally forgot that Lennox Lewis and Vladimir Klitschko were in that show.
Exactly. Yeah. Stopping the whack. I don't think that's a great idea, Ted. I don't unless you need some corn if it's early. That's about it.
Stopping the whack.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we might go through Chilliwack. I mean, they're probably going to do a little stop at Castle Fun Park and hit the batting cages like we do.
So, they're open now again, hey?
Yeah. Glassy, I think we're going to stop in the whack, man.
Did I tell you about I went back to Scandia?
But I'm mostly for the smell. I think we're going to stop in Chilliwack for the smell.
It's just like, to be back here again. Did I tell you about that? We went mini golfing at
in
Scandia.
Chilliwack? Oh,
no, in Scandia. So they've redone it. Anyone that has been to Scandia,
indoor or outdoor?
Indoor.
Oh, okay.
It's hard, man. It's hard. I shot a 51 and I was not impressed. Like I was trying to honestly beat my kids at mini golf. And I mean, I only beat them by like 10 strokes.
We're going to have to do like a Ryan versus Ted
marathon of sports.
Of just things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like weightlifting, clearly I'll beat you. Mini golf, it'll be close. Cardio, again, I'll probably wax you that one. There's a lot of things I'd probably win, I think. I don't think the list is too long that you would win. There's probably a few things. But I don't know. Hit me up and we'll make this happen.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we should do that. I think, like the boys, the Ballhawks PP1 podcast track meet, I do hope will happen. Sadly, before we go out, Glassy drops the bomb of the night. Check it out, folks.
Cash it is the smell of money. Yeah,
he's not wrong.
There's no joke. There's a reason that smell's been around forever.
Yeah, it's printing
bills. Forever.
Printing bills, baby. Any final words, sir?
Stoked for the last few games of the season. I know that the playoffs are out of reach by this point, and I'm at peace with it because I've been at peace with it for half the season or more. But I think that, rubber's going to meet the road over the next little bit here. There's guys that are going to start playing for jobs. Maybe we start to see some younger guys come up, and changes are going to be made. And I'm ready. Change is going to come.
Here's my final word. Should I buy a JT Miller skate t-shirt?
Yeah. T-shirts, whatever. Absolutely.
Because it was either that
a t-shirt's a non-negotiable. Yeah, absolutely. I would have bought a whoever t-shirt. Don't you want a Matt Sundin t-shirt?
Yeah. Do you got one?
I don't have one, but
you still got one of those $2 ones left from Jersey City days.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
You were there. Did you get anything at the team store?
I didn't.
I didn't get your text until late, but I probably would have said, "Don't worry about it."
That's okay. No, Kinsey did. She got. She just wanted a stuffy bear with a Canucks hoodie on it. We literally went.
See you, Glassy.
Take it easy, Glassy. I went around the entire concourse. Didn't have enough time because we wanted to maximize our time there, and I couldn't find. I wanted a JT Miller skate t-shirt, and they had OEL and they had Brock and whatever, and I can't remember if they had a Demko I could find, but I was torn between Miller and Demko, and I just couldn't find one, so I left it. So I don't know. It's either Demko or Miller. I'm still torn, but I feel like I need one of those things just to get back in the game, just to wear, just to wear. That's my final thing. So, yeah, thanks, everybody. PP1 Podcast. We're on the Dean Blundell Network. Make sure that, obviously, you can check the replay on YouTube. We'll probably launch this a little bit later this week as well on a replay, so you can check out how fun this was. Like I said, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I think that's just a like on Spotify. Just like it. It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy. Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, we could use a like.
We could use a like. Absolutely. There's Google Music. There is
Glassy DM me and Twitter there, bud.
I'll share Tales of Bonzi. Oh, geez. Well, that's worth it right there. That's worth it right there. We got to have Bonzi somehow. I don't know how we'll make it happen. Maybe we'll talk about like Austin Matthews scoring his 50th or something. I don't know. So, yeah, check us out. This has been a lot of fun. Next week, maybe we've got some crazy stuff to talk about. Who knows? On behalf of Ted Wong at TEE3, I'm Ryan. This is, as I said, the Power Play 1 podcast. Best boys in the land. Have a wonderful evening. Peace out.